The Confederacy has asserted its will and pushed the remnants of the Union out of the South. And now Lincoln has no choice but to wage war on his fellow countrymen.
Forward, march! John Brown's body lies a moldering in the grave. John Brown's body lies.
Shortly after the firing of Fort Sumter and its bombardment, President Lincoln puts out a call for 75,000 recruits for a 90-day enlistment, which is adorable in a sense when you consider the incredible and disgusting scale that this war will eventually take.
In the grave, John Brown's body lies a moldering in the grave.
The Civil War starts, and this transforms John Brown the fanatic into John Brown the symbol of abolition. It gives rise to the song, John Brown's body lies a moldering in the grave. His truth goes marching on.
John Brown's body lies a moldering in the grave.
Now, from its beginning, America is celebrated as a land of opportunity, and to many it is. But while some prosper, millions of African Americans are robbed of their freedom and their humanity.
A political conflict cracks the foundation of a fragile union, dividing a young nation over the issues of freedom, slavery, and equality. In a brutal battle of attrition, heroes will rise, cities will fall, and the blood of thousands will stain the land. America's struggle for life, liberty, and justice for all becomes the Civil War. Abraham Lincoln, a frontiersman turned small-town lawyer, overcoming humble beginnings and chronic depression to become an eloquent statesman and courageous leader. But behind every leader stands a man, and behind every legend lies the truth.
Abraham Lincoln is known as perhaps America's greatest president. His election comes at what some consider the culmination of a meteoric rise. But Lincoln is no overnight success. He has endured much to arrive at such a time as this. Overcoming poverty, depression, and political failures along the way, Lincoln has proven to be resilient and resourceful. Yet, at the cusp of the Civil War, there are some who doubt he can save the Union. Abraham Lincoln finds himself facing what no other president in history has faced, a deadly struggle for the soul of a nation.
It's Fort Sumter. He broke it.
I suppose we'll just have to fix it again.
Lincoln is cautious. He wants the rebellion crushed, but he doesn't want to move precipitously. But this is the moment when people are yearning for action, maybe ill-advisedly, wanted a policy, wanted a leader.
Lincoln calls for 75,000 troops to put down the rebellion. In response, 4 more states secede, including Virginia, bringing the conflict to the southern border of the nation's capital. Now, the only access to Washington is through Maryland.
When the troops from Massachusetts are coming down, they had to walk through Baltimore. Maryland is a slave-holding state. Its sympathies are very heavily with secessionists.
Men of Baltimore, we have no quarrel with you.
The Baltimore riot is the first combat of the Civil War. Coincidentally, it takes place on the 86th anniversary of the battles of Lexington and Concord. In fact, 2 Union soldiers who died are direct descendants of the Boston Minutemen who fought off the British in 1775. So, on the anniversary of one revolution, another one has begun.
After the riot, secessionists disrupt the railroads, halting the movement of Union troops, leaving the capital more vulnerable than ever.
Mr. President, without the railroads, your troops cannot mobilize.
At any moment, rebels will storm this city, and that will be the end of it. The end of the United States of America. General Scott, if you find it necessary to suspend habeas corpus, you may do so.
Mr. President, you cannot
Do it. Just get me my troops.
Lincoln said, well, Congress is not in session, so I have to do it, because I can't preserve one part of the Constitution and let the whole Constitution go down.
As secessionists are jailed, the railroads clear, and more Union regiments begin arriving in Washington. Troops camp on the White House lawn, in the East Room, and in the House chamber in the Capitol. Bolstered by the arrival of troops, the public outcry is for an attack on the Confederate capital. And Lincoln is feeling the pressure.
Whoa!
The soldiers are a welcome presence,
Willie? Dad?
as his good friend Elmer Ellsworth.
Mr. President? Sorry, they got away from me.
Nonsense, Colonel. They're just acting the part of good fire Zouaves.
Elmer was a favorite of Lincoln's from back in the days of Springfield. He studied law under Lincoln. Lincoln kind of like takes him under his wing. He adores this kid, and this kid loves Abraham Lincoln.
Come over here. Look there. What do you see?
There was a hotel across the Potomac River in Confederate Virginia, on top of which flew a huge Confederate flag.
What is it, Elmer?
It ain't nothing good, Willie.
This homemade Confederate national flag offended this officer who was so patriotic.
There's but a river between us and the rebels now.
The day after Virginia officially secedes, Lincoln sends troops, including Ellsworth's Zouaves, across the Potomac to occupy the city of Alexandria. Hotel owner and Southern sympathizer James W. Jackson blasts Ellsworth at point-blank range, killing him instantly.
Elmer Ellsworth gets kind of celebrated as this first martyr, and that is on a national level. There's this outpouring of grief with news articles and even songs written about him. But Lincoln is also feeling this grief. So when he gets killed, this is a huge blow, personally, to the President of the United States.
May I keep the flag in my room?
Run along, boys. I'll put it in your room. So much of promised usefulness to one's country and bright hopes for oneself and friends have rarely been so suddenly dashed as in his fall.
For Lincoln, there is no glory in Ellsworth's murder. It's evident that this will be a savage, ugly war, and he must bear the cost of every fallen soldier. In the coming year, Lincoln will send tens of thousands of men to certain death, sons, brothers, husbands, and fathers. But it still may not be enough to save the United States of America.
Thanks for watching. If you'd like to help us produce more compelling historical content like this, please like, comment below, and share this video with fellow history buffs. And of course, be sure to subscribe to help keep history happening.